We continue our Lloydminster Council candidate profiles tonight, starting with Belinda Howback. Howback prides herself on being involved in the community, especially in education. Elise Cox speaks with Halbach about the issues she'd tackle if elected.
Well, there's quite a long list of candidates. Why do you think you stand out from the others?
I always thought that we needed to have diversity. So to have a mother on the board or would be on the council would be absolutely wonderful. I'm also a teacher, so I think a teacher can bring to the board that education background. That's really important because that goes to all students and all kids. And I'm hoping to look for things in our community that will help out kids and lifelong learners.
What do you think the biggest issue in Lloydminster is right now? And if elected, what will you do in the next 4 years to change it?
I would have to say, as a mother, watching my kids or hearing about my kids walking to school, they would have to walk across Highway 16. And then later they got their driver's license and they had to drive around this town. I find that sometimes the traffic doesn't always obey the laws the way they should. Some of the big trucks come through town and they step on the gas for the yellow lights rather than slow down and stuff. So I would like to see some kind of routing for the trucks, even if it's better signage to show the routes that we already have. But eventually it would be wonderful to have a bypass.
Any kind of ideas on how you would try and go about that?
Well, I know that there's an issue with funding, so I would definitely be on board helping to look for the ways to fund it. But I think what we really need to do is start signing better and encouraging the trucks to use what we do have in place, because there are some routes that are available already.
Well, thank you very much, Belinda. That was Belinda Howback for City Council.
And now we hear from Chris McQuid. If elected, McQuid will focus on transparent and accountable leadership and hopes to bring a fresh perspective to council. Well, Chris, there are a lot of candidates vying for 6 spots on council. What do you think distinguishes you from all the rest?
Well, I think I have two demographics that I can represent, and one is being the under 35 crowd, and the other is being a family man, having a young family of my own, and understanding the challenges that young families face in this city.
And what do you think one of the biggest issues is facing Lloydminster? And if you were elected, how would you actively tackle that in the next 4 years?
Well, I've been talking to a lot of people around Lloydminster, and I'm hearing a lot of the same issues come up again and again. One, of course, is access to health care, traffic congestion, lack of public transportation. So these are important issues. But with 6 councillors and a mayor, you can't make these decisions on your own. You have to work together. So that's something that I would be willing to do and find common grounds that we could work on these issues. Some of the issues that I would more like to focus on are things like green spaces in town. These are things that are good, inexpensive for families to go take part in, and they give everybody a sense of pride in the community.
And what do you think that you can bring to municipal politics if elected, Chris?
I think that I can bring a leadership experience as a coach and as a manager. I think I can bring accountability and transparency and just a fresh perspective, some new ideas, and really just bring a new look to City Council.
That is Chris McQuid vying for a spot on Lloydminster City Council. 3 people have been sent to hospital following a morning crash just west of the city. It happened around 8 a.m. Kitscoty RCMP say the driver of a transport truck pulled out in front of the car, which was going westbound on Highway 16. The jaws of life were needed to get the driver out of the car, who suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The passenger had minor injuries. The truck driver was taken to hospital for precautionary reasons, and charges are pending. Well, a brand new boiler arrived at Lakeland College's Lloydminster campus yesterday, and today crews had the task of moving the 17.5-ton machine inside the power engineering lab. A massive crane was brought in to get the job done.
What they're doing now is they're making preparations to bring the boiler into the building. Because of the location and the restrictions here, the boiler had to be unloaded off truck a little ways away. Crane had to be repositioned, and now it'll be moved closer, and then it'll be skidded into the building through the big door.
The door may be huge, but it will still be a tight fit with only a few inches to spare. Once the boiler is put into place, the installation process begins.
Construction crews will start assembling the piping. There's going to be welders, pipe fitters, and other workers. There's platforms to assemble, there's tanks to install.
It will take about a month before the boiler is fired up. Seniors are being honored in Saskatchewan this week, including right here in the border city. Some of the celebration included a free breakfast and also some educational classes. The seminar had information on fake money, what to look out for, and people you can talk to.
We're the technology age, so we get bombarded, and everybody does, but seniors grew up in a different era where they didn't have quite as much technology, and they also grew up with different rules.
The presentation today for fraud presentation was definitely some preventative work that we can do in our community and getting the word out there so that we can hopefully prevent any future fraud for seniors.
If you or someone you know has been a victim of fraud or scam, call the RCMP or Phone Busters at that number right there on your screen. Well, the Thanksgiving holiday is a time to give thanks and spend time with family and friends. And for more than 25 years, a local couple has done just that. Spiro and Tina Kokonas are holding a Thanksgiving dinner this coming Monday, and the entire community is invited. Naramanisa has the story.
It's a busy time of year for the Kokonas family. Although Thanksgiving Day isn't for another 5 days, they're getting ready to feed nearly 400 people.
We thought, what can we do, for the community, for the people that were like us? And Tina says, maybe we should put a banquet on.
The couple have spent the last 25 years hosting an extravagant dinner for anyone in the community. They say no one should be spending the holiday alone.
We just love to see the people coming out. It just doesn't matter who they are, how much money they have, or they don't have. We don't really care. We just want to be there for them.
The Kokonas say they know firsthand how it feels to not have any family here. They immigrated here from Greece in the early 60s and were on their own.
We didn't have any family. We know what it's like to be without a family. And so we thought, okay, we'll adopt the community as our family.
So right now this kitchen is a little quiet, but come Monday it's going to be all abuzz. On the menu for the special Thanksgiving dinner, several turkeys, several hams, and all the Thanksgiving fixings you can imagine.
The dinner will be held at St. John's Anglican Church, but over the years, local businesses have stepped up with donations, and because of that, local nonprofit organizations benefit.
We take the money that we would have spent on that banquet and we give it to a worthy cause in Lloydminster, like the Salvation Army one time there was a recipient of that. Libby Young was another one.
But this dinner isn't complete without the help of volunteers. They need about 50 people that day. Anyone looking to help out can show up at the church at 3:30. Naramanisa, Newcap News.